Can't reach the bloody button. Take the hanger. Bon voyage. Let's do it. Hello you lot, Miller Corner here, welcome back once again, and today you join me on the Eurotunnel on the way to France because that's right, the epic Poland adventure has begun. That's right, a 1,000 mile plus road trip taking my Seicento back home has begun. It's roughly 25 past 5 in the morning. I was up at 2:30 today, my god how the hell am I still awake, and now we are on the Eurotunnel waiting to depart and heading for France. The adventure begins here and I am so damn excited. We're at the front of the carriage right now, waiting to depart. That's where my phone would go if I decided to put it there. It's still only 5:38 in the morning. It's super early. Check out some of the stuff I got here. Look, I got a whole can. I got a dozen cans of Monster here. There's one in the driver's door. I've got jelly babies, which are the essential travel companion. Look at this mad bag of snacks and food I've got in here. Look, I've got grapes, I've got bananas wrapped up in that tissue there. I've got cereal bars here, and I've got brioche rolls down there, and there's chocolate further down and sweets. And I am putting a hell of a lot of faith in the old Super Seicento for this. I'm going to be doing over 1,200 miles for this journey. It's a lot to ask of a 16-year-old car like this, but I think the car's got it in it. I think this little beast is very much capable of it. It's going to be a long way to go, but every single step of the way, you're coming with me. So without further ado, let's get into Europe. Le Belle France. So I'm following a pretty sweet EP3. It's pretty loud, but more importantly, his mate that's in front, you might be able to see, has got a black S2000. It's lowered, it's got OZ wheels. Oh, I want it so bad. Today is about the Super Seicento, and without further ado, let the road trip begin. Okay, so at this point we're roughly 40 miles into France. I've got 46 miles before I have to make my next turn off. When I first got onto the French motorway it was 88 miles, so what's that, 42-ish miles I've done through France so far. It's going pretty well. Now, one thing that I didn't actually mention in my big announcement video about this trip, and it is quite a biggie, is I've never actually driven outside the UK before. I've been outside the UK on family holidays various times, in fact, with obviously my parents driving, but I myself have never been in a car on what I would call the wrong side of the road, where I'm in a right-hand drive car driving on the right. So this is going to be a huge ask of not just the car to do this massive journey, but of me to drive all this way and all the way back again on roads that I don't know before, countries I've never been to, and on a side of the road that I've never experienced in any way, shape or form. But that said, northern France is proving to be very pretty so far. As you may well know, you may well have been told on Top Gear and stuff like that, there's a lot of rural stuff, a lot of big fields, a lot of farming going on. It's actually a really pretty part of the world. The sun's coming through the clouds a little bit, starting to brighten up. The rain, fingers crossed, has laid off, and it's looking really nice. so I'm comfortable. Super Seicento with the new engine in it is cruising at 65 odd miles an hour. Absolutely no problem at all. I'm pretty comfortable, and yeah, I'm just cruising. So far, life is good. We are in what I believe to be Belgium, and all of a sudden we went from quite sunny to sort of light grey clouds, dark grey clouds, spotting occasional rain, and now the worst rain in the history of humankind. This is absolutely insane. Can you see how insanely rainy this is? I'm literally, that's as fast as my wipers will go. I'm doing what, 65 miles an hour right now. I have to keep wiping the back window because I can't see anything. If I make it, then this is going to be possibly my finest achievement of today. Wish me luck. The rain was torrential, but as it gradually eased, I decided to stop for my first break. Just stopped for a quick break. I've had a walk around because you really do have to when you're doing this kind of long motorway mileage. Your ankles get stiff, your legs get stiff. Even though these WRX seats are comfortable, it's always a good idea to have a stretch and kind of have a lean out. Make sure you're not getting too stiff, because if you get too stiff, it's going to get really, really painful when it gets longer. The journey is going brilliantly. It's going really, really well. The Super Seicento's cruising at kind of 65, 70 miles an hour on the motorways in Europe. No problem at all. Not too noisy, certainly not drinking a lot of fuel, and not tiring me out. I've pulled over at old E17 snack here, which I think is a road name, E17. I think that's the name of the motorway we're on, or maybe it's the postcode, or maybe it's just that the organizer is a big fan of the band E17. And I've got my handy and slightly dented can of Monster with me, and I am very much energized and ready to go. I'm running on just 4 hours sleep. I'm feeling fresh as a daisy thanks to all my high energy, high sugary snacks that I've been having. Anyway, without further ado, and despite the crappy weather, onwards! We powered on through Belgium despite the rain, and as the weather cleared up and the sun came out, we crossed the border into the Netherlands. Perfect timing for another break. You join me on another quick stop. We've done a whopping 210 odd miles since Calais. We've got around 350 to go, so I am definitely feeling the mileage, but it's nowhere near as bad as you might expect. It must be said, Super Seicento doing awesome. I'm not tired, I haven't got much of a backache, I'm not deaf from a droney exhaust. It's actually a pretty good motorway cruiser, despite the fact it's small, light, old, and quite mileagey, and it's got a small engine and all that stuff. The Super Seicento is proving to be a rather brilliant motorway cruiser. As you can see, the sun's come out. It's a beautiful day, which is why I've got the lovely sunnies on, and it's a really, really nice setting. I know it's just a Netherlands McDonald's, but it's a really, really pretty one. This might well be the nicest sort of McDonald's site I've been to. Anyway, I think a few quick snacks, another can of Monster, and then back on the road. With the sun out and the weather warm, we made light work of the Netherlands and entered Germany. The Autobahn made for some great progress, until... Most sat-navs have got a thing where when you get onto a road you don't need to come off for a while, they'll say stay on X road for Y number of miles. For example, stay on the A1 for 25 miles. Now I've just had a thing come up on my sat-nav here to say stay on the A2, which is the German road that I'm on right now, for 300 miles. Now to put that into context, there's only actually 314 miles until I get to the hotel tonight. There are some Autobahn bits on here as well, so I can get up to kind of 75, 80 legal miles an hour and knock a fair chunk of the journey off relatively quickly. And thanks to the Super Seicento being lightweight and still having a small engine, even with the engine swap, it's being very, very economical and returning well over 40 miles to the gallon. That's all well and good, but about 20 minutes ago-ish, I suppose, I hit this. Now this was around about in 100km/h zone, so I was doing 60 miles an hour, which is 100 kilometers an hour, or 62 miles an hour, and all of a sudden the guy in front of me slams on his brakes, and you have to flash your hazards obviously to say sorry and to warn of any danger ahead. And the traffic jam is just the longest I've ever seen in my life. I can't even see to the horizon for trucks. We've been in this exact place, I haven't rolled or anything, for about 5-10 minutes now, and obviously when you're in a manual car, your left leg starts to hurt a little bit from clutch in, clutch out, foot creep, 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 brake creep, creep. That's not the big issue though. The big issue is that I'm in a 16-year-old car without air conditioning, and because the weather has certainly brightened up, I don't want to say humid, but it's extremely hot now. I'd estimate probably 22, 23 degrees Celsius. The other disadvantage of sitting in the heat like this is, you can probably see the heat coming through this gap here between the lorries, is that all my kind of food and drink is gradually getting warm. So I've got my coat covering some of it, but my monster cans down there are gradually warming up, and even this one that I'm drinking is gradually getting less cold. It's a question of what will happen first. Will I run out of cold monster and therefore dehydrate and die? Will I faint through heat and probably therefore die? Or will I just die of old age waiting in this traffic jam? Who knows, but I'll keep you posted. After around an hour and a half of waiting, we made it through the traffic, revealing that the cause of it was an overturned lorry, proving that no matter how bad your day is going, someone else always has it worse. Clear of the traffic, we got back up to a steady 80 miles an hour on the Autobahn and made up some time, followed by a quick stop to change into shorts and to lift the bonnet to make sure the engine was cool. It didn't overheat, but this is never a bad idea when driving in hot temperatures. Driving through Europe like this means you also learn a bit about foreign road users. So this is something pretty cool about driving in Germany. We're in sort of slow moving traffic right now, as you can see, can't really tell what's causing it, but you notice how all the traffic in the left-hand lane is moving right over to the left. You see that? We're literally straddling the line between the tarmac and the grass, and the reason for that is if and when an emergency vehicle needs to get through, there's already a path made for them, and they just did it naturally. They weren't told to, there wasn't a sign or a siren or any indication, they just naturally did it as soon as traffic built up, which goes to show that in more than just their way of making things, the Germans are efficient and thoughtful. Once clear of that traffic, I'd like to say that it was plain sailing to the hotel, but it wasn't. A main junction being closed on the A2 Autobahn that I was using meant I had to take a detour through the countryside and add well over an hour to my journey before rejoining the A2 further along. Deeply frustrating, but once I was back on the main route to the hotel, my smile widened. Just think, not too long ago my little Fiat was basically stock and my driving experience was limited to the UK. Now look at us, the car extensively modified, looking, sounding, handling and performing better than it ever has, and taking me on my first ever drive through Europe on a beautiful day with neither of us having set a foot wrong. Despite the traffic, delays and detours, it had been a fantastic first day. The sunset was pretty, the roads were clear and the progress was good, which meant getting to Potsdam for the hotel that night was a simple cruise to finish the day. I've arrived, I've done it, I've arrived at my hotel for the night in Germany, an enormous 663.3 miles in one day. I would say that I'm exhausted, but here's the thing, energy-wise I'm actually not too bad. Physically, however, I would have given considerable amounts of money to get some cruise control today because my legs are just shot to pieces. But other than that, I'm hungry and I'm kind of wanting some physical rest. So let's go check into the hotel and then let's get some food. Okay, so because it's quick and easy and I know that I like it, I decided to go for some cheeky Mackie D's for some dinner. And just look at it! That's a McDonald's! Just look at the thing, it's massive, it's 2 stories and all lit up and cool. It's been a massively long day. I've been up for something like 15, 16, 17, honestly I can't count any more hours today. It's been a massive journey, but I have to say the car coped with it absolutely brilliantly. I could not be more proud of the epic little Super Seicento. Now, I'm very sorry that I'm whispering, but it is about 1:45 in the morning because I've got to the hotel very late and I've just got back from having something to eat. German McDonald's, very, very nice, just a different name, and that restaurant was insane. But for now, I am tired. Good night. Guten Morgen, welcome to day 2. We are in Germany, we're in Potsdam specifically, and today is the big day because we're actually going to Poland. We're actually going to cross over the border and get to the place where we're staying for the festival, because for the first time in my life I'm going to Poland. I'm really excited and I can't wait to see what it's like. But first, breakfast. Okay, so I'm all full up with McMuffin, and now it's time to get to Poland. The sun was out and the sky was blue, and the beautiful day was added to by clean progress on the Autobahns. All this meant that before too long we crossed the border into Poland. And just like that, we are in Poland. That's right, Viva la Polska. I'm sure that's very culturally and linguistically offensive and incorrect, so I do apologise to, well, anyone watching, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, we are on the home stretch now. We've got 154 miles to go until we actually reach the event, but we are in Poland, which means we can see the light at the end of this enormous journey to get there. We're very nearly there, so without further ado, let's crack on. The Polish countryside was gorgeous, lots of large fields and woodland areas stretching for miles around, and only made prettier by the warm and sunny weather. After the last leg was complete, I made it to the event and parked up the Super Seicento. I checked in and then admired the start of what would be an epic weekend. So I've just arrived, checked in just over there, and look at all the stuff these legends are giving me. Look, this mug is for the club, Italiano Squadre, that actually organised this event. And we got these mugs just for travelling so far. They were like, well, you've travelled so far from the UK, you deserve something special. That's just a little extra Brucey bonus, so that's awesome. Thanks for that, guys. We've also got this, which is an air freshener, apparently. You peel off a film lid in here, and then this sort of slides back. I don't quite know how it works, and I'm frankly scared to open it, but it's an air freshener, so that's pretty cool. We've got a sticker to commemorate the event. That's going on later. We've got a T-shirt with the name of the event on it. I'm wearing that at some point. A lanyard with the name of the club on it, and we've got a name tag that we have to wear so we know that we're actually supposed to be here. I also got this, which is a sticker. You can't actually see it at any... Oh, there you go. You can sort of see it there. Number 64, because we're actually having sort of a beauty competition, for want of a better word. So tomorrow we're going to vote for which is the best looking car of all the cars here, whether it's modified or stock or whatever. So I put that inside my windscreen. If people think the Super Seicento is the best looking car here, they vote for number 64. Don't know if I'm going to win, but I'm certainly taking part. Using my limited equipment and skills, I cleaned the windscreen and got the sticker on the car, and if I do say so myself, looking pretty damn good. Yanni, you know where to go. With that done, I went to my room to relax after an enormous 2-day drive. There we have it then, from England all the way to Poland in just 2 days, a 908-mile epic journey. But as much as it was a brilliant drive down here, despite all the mishaps, the traffic jams, the closed motorways, all that stuff, despite the stresses and the heat and everything that did kind of not go to plan, and the fact we're here is fantastic, the journey is only just beginning, because of course getting here was just part 1 of the Poland epic extravaganza. I am so proud of the Super Seicento, a tiny little 16-year-old city car driving 908 miles on a high-speed autobahns all the way through Europe, and doing it without a single fault. I could not be more proud of that little car, and it's done an absolutely brilliant job. After the huge drive, the Super Seicento took a well-earned rest, and I relaxed for the evening. And then this happened.
O kurwa, woda z
I'm still not entirely sure what that was about, but sheer craziness seems like the perfect way to round off day 2. It's a beautiful day today. It's about 30 degrees, the sun's shining, the sky is blue. It is brilliant, and just over there are some brilliant cars as well. So without further ado, let's kick things off by going and looking at said epic cars. A beautiful day and all sorts of incredible classic and modified Italian cars. This place is my idea of paradise. People had come from hundreds of kilometres away to share the passion and to show off some fantastic cars, and here are just some of my favourites. This bright green Seicento is far from stock, as that enormous intercooler should tell you. As well as a cage, buckets and harnesses, this thing has a 1.4 litre 16 valve custom turbo engine, making 394 horsepower in a 700 kilo Seicento. Insanity! Next up is this green Cinquecento, complete with immaculate bodywork, some tasty wheels and custom made halo headlights. In both colour and execution, this thing is mint. This Seicento is something else. Originally sold in Germany, it was sent to Spain for 2 years where various Novitec parts were fitted before being brought back to Germany. This incredible textured green and brushed aluminium look wrap combination was done entirely by the owner and it looks phenomenal. The bonnet was stripped of all paint by a grinder before clear coating all of it except the outline of a logo designed by the owner and his mate. The result is the bonnet having a bare metal look, bar the logo being rusted into it. This is exactly the kind of weird and wonderful car that I drove over 900 miles to see. Next up is this grey Seicento, which, like a lot of cars here, is immaculate. It also features halo headlights, some sweet wheels, and an all-round really clean and classy look. Kudos to the owner of this one. This Cinquecento appears to be completely standard and a little bit tatty, but what's this? Punto GT brakes squeezed under the stock steel wheels? Well, this little beast actually has a 1.4 litre 16 valve engine, making around double the factory power. You'd never know unless you know, but this is a wicked little sleeper. Now this Seicento is cool. Painted in a custom brown metallic, it has a bad boy bonnet, a huge intercooler and radiator combo that suggests some huge power, some nice Mini Light style wheels, leather bucket seats, a flocked dashboard which is very popular in Poland and is all round phenomenal. I love this brown beast, but with so many cars around you, you can get tempted. I know I might be mad, but I really want one of these little 126s. They make a Seicento look enormous. They're really cool and quirky and different. They're rear wheel drive, which means potentially you could do some skids with them. Okay, so they are a little bit odd and not entirely usable in the real world, but come on, how cool are these things, right? I might have to buy one and bring it home. Tempting me even more was this gorgeous Alfa Romeo 156 GTA sport wagon in a stunning blue and with the dreamy Busso V6. It took all of my willpower to not try and buy this thing. Bringing me back from the brink was this Seicento. It's got a custom metallic yellow paint job, genuine BBS splits, a roll cage, a Bath 500 seats, custom door cards, oh, and an Abarth 500 engine under the bonnet. This epic engine is housed in a bay that's prepped, painted and presented beautifully, but in a different colour to the car, which is a bit of a trend in Poland. Nobody could really explain why, but when colour coded well, I kinda like this. The yellow beast has also got halo headlights, a front splitter, and is all round an absolutely incredible car. I thought of it as the Super Seicento's evil twin, and this monster gave me a few ideas and a lot of inspiration for my own build. The meet was filled with fantastic cars, but in the 30-degree heat, all the guys from the UK decided to pop to a local shop for an ice cream. Problem is though, when everything's new and unusual and amazingly cheap, it's never quite that easy.
Is this the one that's basically tea, like you said?
Yeah.
Iced tea, that's brilliant, we'll have one of those.
Yeah. Joe,
What have you found?
put that in your basket.
What is that? What are these?
You know, like peanut brittle?
Yeah, are these
that.
peanuts with toffee?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Crossroads with like a filling.
What filling is it? Just chocolate?
So that's chocolate and vanilla.
Chocolate and vanilla, yep, having that. Emoji croissants. Hazelnut. That's orange. And hazelnut. Vanilla chocolate with hazelnuts. That's coming back with me. Caramel with crispy white wafer.
Yeah, there you go, there's strawberry in there.
Strawberry.
Strawberry
We're having that. We'll
king.
have that as well. We'll take that. What's this? This is marzipan. Oh, it's a bar of marzipan. We're having that. Let's get some of those. Hey, look, work that out. Look. The milk ones, $8.99. The dark ones, $7.49.
They look nice.
I don't even know what they are, but we're
Got
having
coconut in them.
Oh, we're having those. What is that? Is that like a pepperoni?
It's like a pepperoni.
Is it spicy?
A little bit.
We're having those then.
So the different styles of pierogi.
These are nice, and these are what we had for dinner last night. These are nice.
And you can boil them or you fry them. You get a sweet cheese one.
Ooh.
They go, if you fry them with sweet cheese, you have like strawberry jam with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No Billy Bear here. This is nice stuff. What's that? Well, look, 1 kilo of sausages for £8.99. That's about £2 for a kilo of sausages. And you bet your life they'll be good as well. I'm happy. You got everything you want?
Yeah, we're pretty good.
We've got lots of mad stuff. Let's go. All that and that. 46 saucy, 63. Insane.
With just a few snacks and drinks bought, it was then back to the meet for a few competitions. The first of which was a lowest car competition, which is obviously advantageous to those cars that are on air. The judges were being thorough by using a measuring tape to measure from the ground to the top of the passenger's side wheel arch, with the smallest distance obviously being the winner. This Cinquecento on air did very well, but as far as getting the car low was concerned, there were no rules, and that resulted in some creative competition. This Punto on air had a fitment so tight that the rim was touching the arch. If I remember correctly, he won, but the one to watch was my buddy Seb, who, thanks to his car breaking the day before the meet, was in his mum's stock Fiat 500. Then again, stock suspension does mean that you can put some weight on it. Okay, so I've ended up entering the Super Seicento into a rev battle. Let's see how this one goes. A rev battle is usually a competition to see which car sounds best, or in this case, is the loudest. The Super Seicento and I were up against every car you can see here, but going 10th did mean we had plenty of chance to get to know our competitors. First up was this Cinquecento, which, thanks to being turbocharged, was somewhat muffled and not really that loud. Next was this 126, which had blown my ears out just by parking next to me. But that was nothing compared to this 126, which was basically straight piped, and as you'll see by all the hands over people's ears, was unbearably loud. Thankfully, the next car was altogether quieter. The Air Ride Punto delivered a quieter but much nicer sound. Very
Very nice. Next was the Super Seicento's Cinquecento cousin, which, thanks to a turbo, was relatively sedate. Following this was another Cinquecento on 14s, with a nice mix of turbo whistle, pops and crackles. After this one though, was the one that everybody wanted to hear. Seb in his mum's stock 1.2 Fiat 500. This is gonna be awesome. Well, maybe not, but the next one was the green Cinquecento, complete with a 1.2 16 valve and a proper little roar. Next, it was my turn. The car had been warming up while all this was going on, and now it was time for the Super Seicento and I to throw down.
Here goes nothing. See if that was enough.
That's 114.
114. Wow, that was alright.
Yeah,
That's not bad.
Yeah. You know, the naturally aspirated engines actually are a little bit louder because the turbo make it silent.
Yeah, silence is down. That's alright. I'm quite happy with that.
The turbos are quieter argument is given substance when the 400 horsepower Seicento actually recorded a lower volume than my car. The growlier Bath Punto brings the rev battle to an end before the next event. Who can fit the most people in their car, nicknamed Italiano Bus. First up is a Fiat Multipla with all the seats removed. As soon as the doors are open, people cram into the car. Once loaded, the Multipla has to drive 5 metres forward to count, which it does despite its new low-budget stance setup. The unloading of the car is the fun part though, as watching 27 people emerge from the MPV is quite a sight. It takes some lunacy to climb in a car with 26 other people in 30-degree heat, but that's nothing compared to the next competitor. Next up is a Ducato van, which, being a large van, swallowed up people. People continued to cram into the Ducato with no sign of slowing down, or of personal space. Eventually the van is full, completes its 5 metres, and then empties out with no less than 36 sweaty people on board. I'm not sure it's hygienic, but it's definitely fun to watch. Finally is a car version of the Doblo, which, being based on a van, also takes in a lot of people. The pseudo MPV is as determined as both the people getting into it and its own rear suspension. Particular kudos to the guy folding himself in through the front window, but sadly it's not enough, as just 26 people got in the Doblo, which goes to show that if you want to get into sweaty human trafficking, get a Fiat Ducato. With all the events finished, there's then a small awards ceremony for the winners of each competition and the best cars of the show. Despite not winning anything, there was a small surprise in store for us.
We won an award. How about that? No, it wasn't for the best car here. No, it wasn't for the loudest, because you can probably guess who that was. But we did get an award for travelling the furthest. Because the guys from the UK travelled over 1,000 kilometres just to be here, we all got given a remote control Fiat 500 as a kind of thank you for coming so far and bothering to come all the way to Poland for a car meet award. This kind of camaraderie and this kind of respect and passion for these cars and a kind of warm companionship from these guys has been seen throughout our time at Jubiluszała Italiano Chill Weekend. The Polish, the Germans, all nationalities, we all bond over our love of these cars, to the extent that people are giving awards to us just for coming so far because we love these cars as much as they do, and there's no better way to summarise why I love this trip more than that.
With all the awards given out and the sun going down, it was time to relax, kick back and enjoy the rest of the evening.
waited so long, time and time again. All you say is that I did you wrong.
As the evening goes on, the vibes are fantastic. People from Germany, Poland, the Netherlands and the UK communicate using their limited knowledge of each other's languages to discuss and share our passion for these cars. There's drinking going on that would put most Brits to shame, but it's in a really nice way. There's no shouting or fighting or throwing things around. People are laughing, singing, having a good time. You get the sense this wouldn't work in the UK because someone would break someone else's car or start a fight. But here it's just so chilled out and nice. As it gets dark, the music gets louder and the party really starts. Everyone is made to feel welcome regardless of age, nationality or anything else, and the atmosphere is made even better with a fireworks display and a huge coloured fire show. As I get lost in the fantastic atmosphere and have the time of my life, this, more than anywhere else in the world right now, feels like home.
Spoke since your love was true, and now that I know this, I regret everything I made you cry. Baby, don't fight it, let me rewrite it.
The next morning, everyone is packing up to leave. Some of the cars and the people have already gone, but before I head back to the UK, Poland has one more surprise in store to make me smile.
Look at this legend. Look, he's come here in a Peugeot Fiat Boxer. He's got a massive rented van here, but he's also got a 126. Can you see it? Can you see it? There it is. He's literally carrying his car in the van. You, my friend, are a legend. That's awesome. And there's room to spare as well. That's so cool.
And with that, it's back to the UK, and as I make my way through beautiful Polish countryside and back onto the Autobahn, I can't help but smile at what a fantastic trip this has been. Who wants to sit by a pool drinking a coconut when you could be doing this? Seeing new places, exploring the world and learning more about other cultures, other people and the lives that they live. Memories aren't made by sitting down or doing anything predictable, and I guess that's the thing. You never really can predict what's coming next, so no matter what happens, go and live. See some amazing places and sights, meet some new friends, learn more about the world we live in and broaden your mind with new memories and experiences that will last a lifetime. And make sure to fill those experiences with some awesome cars along the way.